Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Sonia and today we're going to be talking about sleep. How much is enough and how do we get good sleep? So if you're interested in health, lifestyle trends and travel, don't forget to subscribe below. Okay, so what is sleep and how much do we need? What effect does it have on our body? Sleep is central to our health and performance. We need it to be able to operate effectively. Our body is not a machine. It needs time to process and it needs time to regenerate. So when does that happen? It happens when we're asleep. So if you're one of those people who think they can function on, say, 6 hours sleep, well, you're probably not, because only 5% of the population actually have the mutated gene that allows them to operate on that amount of sleep time. So for the rest of us, we need more than that. So the average person sleeps about 36% of their life. So if you're going to live to 90, that means we've spent like 32 years in our bed asleep, assuming you sleep on bed. So, and if that's 32 years of your life, well then you need a good bed, hey? It also aids sleep. So what happens when we don't have enough sleep? Well, lack of sleep affects our entire body, including our brain. And, it's been studied that 17 to 19 hours without sleep is equivalent to driving a vehicle with a blood alcohol limit of 0.05%. Now, lack of sleep has been attributed to things like Chernobyl and to some spacecraft errors that have occurred in the past. And also, being a health professional working within hospitals, seeing registrar doctors working very long hours, those were only addressed. The situation that they would work in were like 24 hours, like working 12 hours and the rest of 12 hours on call. This situation was only addressed after research showed that sleep impairs your ability to make decisions. So, these doctors are being called on to make life-saving decisions and they're impaired as if they have a blood alcohol of 0.05%. So that's not good when they're looking after our families, our children and general population, is it? So it was addressed by the medical profession. And of course, now doctors, their times of when they are allowed to work are regulated so that they can function at optimal levels. It doesn't mean they still get tired, but they're not 24 hours on call. So in addition to the increased risk of accidents, lack of sleep can cause real changes in the working of our body. So sleep, like deprivation, has been related to things like type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. And I did read a interesting study which actually said that when daylight saving changes over, where you lose an hour's sleep, that day more people actually admitted to emergency with heart attacks. Yeah, and there are a percentage of those that actually die. So interesting, and this is research-based. Okay, so lack of sleep also plays havoc with our stomach. It ramps up ghrelin, and we don't really need that because ghrelin sort of makes us hungry and, we don't need to be eating all the time because then we become overweight and obese. And, worldwide, obesity is a pandemic. We don't hear about it like the coronavirus, but studies actually show and research show that by 2025, something like 74% of Australians and 84% females and 84% males will be overweight or obese. And this is reflected worldwide. And with these conditions come other medical conditions that cost our healthcare system a lot of money. So, we need to be concentrating on our weight. And if you don't know your BMI and what's healthy and what's not, check out my one of my first video clips in January, and it will help you with that. Okay, so the ideal amount of sleep is 7.7 hours, to be exact. Okay? Body weight goes up if you sleep shorter or longer. So up to you, but 7.7 hours is classified as the ideal amount of sleep. And how much should our kids get? Well, school-age children should get between 9 and 11 hours sleep. Teenagers 8 to 10, we know they don't want to wake up in the mornings, and it's like trying to pry them out to get them to school. So teenagers 8 to 10 hours sleep. And this is a problem considering the research shows that currently teenagers are actually getting interrupted sleep and probably about 5 hours. So 5 hours sleep is not enough for teenagers. If you're a parent of a teenager, you need to look at their devices in their room and take control. They have to go. We need our teenagers to be able to focus and to have sleep so they can be resilient as well. So that's for parents to undertake. And if you're a parent, that's your responsibility to ensure that your children are having enough sleep. Adults, we need 7 to 9 hours sleep. So how do we do all this? I'm going to tell you very shortly. But what are the benefits of investing in our sleep? So I have a tracking device which I wear, which is this ring. You might think, oh, that's a big ring. It looks, it's not that nice. Well, it's not, but it tracks my physical fitness and it tracks my sleep patterns. And that's what I use to help me maintain a regular bedtime, and my sleep has improved hugely because of my Aura ring. That's also in my first video in January. By investing in quality sleep, you receive benefits from your body. You have enhanced immune function. So you're able to resist diseases much better if you're getting good quality sleep. You have increased energy and strength. So, you can act more vibrantly. You're bouncing around, not dragging yourself around. You have improved weight loss and glucose regulation when you have good sleep. You're more flexible, you're more coordinated. So if you go to trip on something, you will actually catch yourself from tripping. You have boosted hormone levels, so particularly important for those who have hormone conditions or you're trying to increase your fertility. Definitely sleep is a good thing. It increases our focus, our creativity, so we can perform at the highest level. It enhances our memory and ability to learn complex skills. I was reading a research article that actually showed that children who are introduced to new words or read a story with new words will actually retain it by 30% more retention. They have a 30% more retention rate if they learn those words and then have a nap when they wake up. Ta-da! How good's that? Just a little tip. And of course, sleep improves our emotion regulation so that we are nicer people to be around. We're not grumpy, we're not impatient. So we're able to deal with people and situations much better when we have quality sleep. So here are some tips. Stop looking at screens and devices half an hour before bed. So if your bedtime's 10 o'clock, stop it all at 9:30, half an hour before bed, okay? Our bodies do not like blue light. Our body relies on a circadian rhythm, and blue light actually interferes with that. So half an hour before bed, turn and switch everything off and use that time to be mindful, reflect, have a bath, all those sorts of things that you can wind down your body in preparation for sleep. The other thing is stick to your bedtime. If it's 10 o'clock at night, stick to your bedtime, even on weekends. Your body loves routine and your sleep will stay the same and stay at the same level so that you have your quality sleep each night. The other thing is having your room at the ideal temperature. You know, some of us like it hot, some of us like it cold, but the ideal temperature is 19.5 degrees Celsius and 67 degrees Fahrenheit for you who use that particular system. So our body cools down as we go off to sleep. So having your room already set at, say, 19.5 Celsius is actually helpful and actually speeds that up. Definitely avoid large meals and intense exercise 3 hours before bed, because that way, you know, our heart rate's not elevated and our metabolism's not like churning around as well. So 3 hours before bed, you know, make sure that you've had your meal 3 hours earlier, and any intense exercise is done and dusted as well. Okay, and, you know, taking that time to unwind. Cut out your caffeine. Make sure that your last caffeine drink or anything with caffeine, so that can be your coffee, your caffeinated drink, chocolate, that it's the last one, say at 2 p.m. I personally actually stopped drinking coffee at 12 or 1 o'clock is my cut-off time, because studies show that depending on the person, it can take 2 to 10 hours for the effects of caffeine to dissipate. So just remember that caffeine is a stimulant, and it actually will reduce your quality of sleep. So making sure that you have a limit, a time limit as to when the last time you have your last drink with caffeine in it is a good thing. And of course, exercising regularly. It's recommended that we get out and move more, okay, 20 to 30 minutes a day. And, you know, if we can, doing it in the morning before 12 midday and exposing our eyes to bright sunlight or light is actually gets us ready for sleep that night. So if we can do that, we will have a much better sleep, and we're setting ourselves up for a good sleep. So yeah, if you're on your way to work and you're a bit bleary-eyed and you've got your sunnies on, okay, leave your sunglasses up for half an hour on the way into work. That way, you've set yourself up for a good sleep that night. And of course, the other tip is to reserve your bedroom for rest and romance. Now, I've heard it said sex and sleep, but rest and romance sounds just a little nicer, don't you think? So, you know, there's no blue screens, there's no devices. You're there to rest, and romance is what a bedroom should be. So I hope these tips have been helpful for you. None of the tips that I have shared with you actually cost any money. You know, setting your bedtime regular, getting rid of blue light out of your bedroom, these cost you nothing. They're just actions that you need to take to improve your quality of sleep and to give you the hours sleep that you need to wake up and to give your body good immunity and to be able to, you know, have the best possible day, is to have a good sleep at night and setting our body up for health. So I hope this has been helpful for you this week, and stay with me and subscribe so that you're notified of my upcoming videos. Sorry, my cat just ran in and he's crazy. And I look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye for now. See ya.